Today, it's Ronda Rousey versus the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
When are we going to see women in the UFC, man?
Never.
Never?
Never.
So that was Dana White in 2011 saying women would never, ever fight in the UFC. But that all changed in 2013 when Dana White had a meeting with Ronda Rousey, where she convinced Dana White to have women in the UFC.
Bring the champ out here.
Oh, no!
I'm going to make it official right now. The first ever UFC Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey. And I'm presenting her with her belt. And I'm announcing her fight. In the UFC, February 23rd at the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. She'll be fighting Liz Carmouche, and she is the main event.
And at UFC 157, for the first time ever, there was a women's mixed martial arts fight in the UFC as the current champion, Ronda Rousey, successfully defended against Liz Carmouche. Now, Ronda would have an absolute dominant run in the UFC, successfully defending her title multiple times against Alexis Davis. Bethe Correia. She knocked Bethe Correia clean out. Her rivalry with Miesha Tate was absolutely incredible. They fought in Strikeforce, where Rousey defeated Miesha to become the champion. And then they coached the Ultimate Fighter and had a rematch on the same card that Chris Weidman defeated Anderson the Spider Silva. In that match, it was much like the original match where Ronda Rousey tapped out Miesha Tate to retain the UFC Bantamweight Championship. In a UFC 193, Ronda Rousey met Holly Holm, and Holly Holm beat her, walking away the women's Bantamweight champion. And then roughly a year later, Ronda made her big return to challenge Amanda Nunes for the Bantamweight Championship, which did not go her way. But before both of those fights, there was talk of Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano happening, and unfortunately, because of, I guess, some comments Dana White made, the fight was off. And if you don't believe me, here's Gina explaining the situation.
They were like, okay, well, we'd love to offer you $1 million. We'd love to, have that fight. And I was like, well, that sounds great. I'm gonna need you to do me a favor then, because I've been acting now and I'm not, active in any gym. So it's gonna take me. It's gonna, you're gonna have to give me some time to build a team and go join a team, which is not an easy thing, as sure as all the fighters know in this. You have to find a team or build one that's gonna be into what you're doing. And if you haven't been actively a part of anything, you can walk in as Gina Carano or whoever, and you still have to find the people that are going to really be there for you, and that takes time. So I told him, you got to just be able to sit on this for about 6 months, Dana. You can't say anything and let me get situated with that in mind, because that sounds great, and I'd love to do it. And so it was a nice dinner, and we all left, positive, and I left stoked, and I was like, okay, well, this makes sense. This is my moment to come and be back in there. And then the next day, Dana was out there talking about me and saying, talking about my name and telling the people that he was going to sign me, and I don't and then he started trying to put on the pressure through the media, and then it just really it was a bummer, because I told him over text message, that's not what we talked about. I need time. I can't just now I'm going to walk into a gym and people know that's what I'm doing. I need to build trust. I need to find people. And so then he kept on doing that. He kept on doing that, and I'm still, still kind of searching for a team and like feeling all that pressure. And then he sent me a text message that said, "This bitch isn't, this bitch isn't like something us around, like effing us around or something like that." And I sent a text message back. I said, I think that you sent that to the wrong person. And he said, "I don't think I did."
All right, so it did not happen. But years later, there was talk again of it happening in December in 2025. And it was offered to the UFC, and the UFC looked like they were going to do it in December, but they may have lowballed Gina and Ronda. And so, no, it did not happen. And now they are teaming up with MVP, Most Valuable Promotions, and they're on the biggest stage in the world, Netflix.
Did those failed negotiations lead to some bitterness that led you to publicly criticize them yesterday on social media?
No, not at all. He was the one that, when they weren't able to offer me, a respectable deal under the streaming model, he was the one that was like, I want you to make as much money as possible. Don't stay here and take less for me. He gave me his blessing to go out and do it on my own. And if anyone's been his apprentice, on how to be a promoter, it's been me. And after I let him know before anybody else that I had gone to Netflix, and I wanted to, I didn't want him to be upset with me, and he was like, I could never be upset with you. I love you so much. I want you to do great. I want this to be successful. He's always been my friend first before anything else. And I think that most of my criticisms of the UFC now is because Dana isn't the owner, and he isn't calling the shots, and he isn't running things the way that he wants, because he's an employee of the company now. He's not an owner, and I think it was a big mistake of theirs to not let him just run things.
So it's going to be the White House card versus the Netflix card, and Ronda Rousey had this to say in a tweet. Been waiting so long to announce this. Me and Gina Carano are gonna throw down in the biggest super fight in women's combat sports history. And we're partnering with the Fighter First promotion, Most Valuable Promotions, as well as the baddest streamer on the planet, Netflix. This is for all MMA fans, past, present, and future. More to come, much more. Smiley face. And there you see it. The first huge announcement breaks out, and boom. We've got a huge fight happening on Netflix. And just a short period after that, there was a shot taken. Ronda tweets, Ngannou versus Lins joins Rousey versus Carano on Netflix May 16th. How's that for a BAMF Latin doubleheader? That's what happens when you put the fighters and the fans ahead of the shareholders at Most Valuable Promotions. P.S. The UFC's White House card sucks. Oh my! And Ronda elaborated at the press conference.
Oh, he knows the White House card sucks. Like, he knows that they were pushing this for over a year, and it fell extremely short of expectations. I mean,
And just a few days after the press conference, it was announced Nate Diaz is back. Ronda tweeted, Welcome to the revolution, Nate Diaz and Platinum Perry. It's the fighters versus the establishment, and we are gonna win. May 16th only on Netflix. P.S. Hunter Campbell pissed off the wrong bitch. I'm coming for your job, motherfucker. So Ronda is full blown after the UFC. She's had enough. She's pissed that they did not put this fight up. And now she's remained very loyal and very well spoken towards Dana White. Never says anything bad about him. Actually says it's the company that's really screwing the business. If Dana was in charge, we'd be getting the fights we want to see. So Ronda, very nice to Dana. And Dana has not badmouthed Ronda at all.
Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano was announced to be on Netflix. Ronda said she approached you. to have that fight. Then she said that it didn't work out, and maybe financial reasons were because of that under the new Paramount era. Are you disappointed not to be hosting that fight, and are you happy to see Ronda return to MMA?
Yeah, her and I have been talking about this since last year, and it just didn't work out. But I'm happy for it. Listen, me and Gina are in a really good place. We weren't at one point, and I'm happy for both of them.
So there you have it. Ronda Rousey coming out against the UFC. The UFC, brass, they really haven't said much. Now Ronda's in the AEW ring. Guess that gets more promotion for their fight in May. But let me know, what do you think? Team Ronda, Team UFC?